everyone and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be exploring Class 7 Science Chapter 10, Respiration in Organisms. Respiration helps in release of energy from food. So when we respire, we release energy from food. So we use up our food and we release energy. The oxygen we inhale is used to break down glucose into CO2 and water. Now these are just brief introductions. We're gonna go in more detail. Energy is released in this process. Energy is released in the process of respiration. The breakdown of glucose occurs in organisms' cellular respiration. So the breakdown of glucose, which is basically breaking down of food, occurs in the organisms, which means maybe just humans, cell, okay, which is known as cellular respiration. When we exercise, we breathe heavily because the oxygen for our muscles is not enough. At this time, food breakdown is done. I'll just correct it. Done by anaerobic respiration, which is without oxygen. I'll just rub done because I already corrected it. Breathing. Breathing through nostrils goes through nasal cavity. Now that goes through windpipe into lungs. So let's draw our nose. It goes through. Now this is our windpipe. And then it goes into our lungs. And then what happens? The diaphragm is below our lungs and it looks like a curve. Now when we inhale, our lungs expand and pushes the diaphragm downward, so it will look like that. Let's swap this out and let's move on. Why do we breathe in and out? In. What do we breathe? Okay. What do we breathe in and out? We breathe 21% oxygen, we breathe 0.03% of CO2, which is carbon dioxide, and less water vapor than when we exhale out. And out, we exhale 16% oxygen, 4% CO2, and more water vapor than in. Okay, hope you got that. Let's move on. Breathing in earth. Gases can pass through its skin. Breathing in cockroach. In cockroach, they have a small openings called spiracles. They also have a air tube-like structure called trachea, which help in exchange of gases. The air enters through spiracles, I don't know how to pronounce that, and reaches the cell through trachea. Similarly, the air from the cells moves out through trachea and is exhaled through spiracles. Now in frogs have a skin which can be used for breathing like in earthworms, and they have lungs. So the skin is basically very moist. That's why they can breathe in and out through that. Underwater breathing. Gills have help in underwater breathing. Amphibians can breathe underwater with moist skin and on land they can use lungs. Example, frog. Okay. Anaerobes. Organisms that don't need air to live. Human beings can use this type of breathing but only sometimes. Examples can be yeasts. They are unicellular organisms and they release ethanol and CO2 while respiring. Okay? Anaerobic respiration in humans. Sometimes our muscles can respire without oxygen. When? While we run, exercise, dance, or work out heavily. As a result, it produces lactic acid and energy. Now this lactic acid gathers up in muscles which causes cramps. Now after you get those cramps, it really pains. The relief can be just massaging it or just a hot bath. Why do we need a hot bath? Because it helps improve blood circulation so that blood can take the lactic acid away, fix the pain, and do its little magic. Aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration needs oxygen and high amount of energy is released than anaerobic. So in anaerobic, energy is released but not as much as aerobic. Plants. They need CO2. They take in CO2 and use it in photosynthesis, which creates food for them, and then release O2, which is oxygen. All parts of the plants can respire independently. Woody stems respire too. They have a special tissues in them called lenticels. The shells of this tissue have large intercellular spaces between them, and they are present as dead cells on woody stems and roots and help on woody stems and roots. They help in exchange of gases. Okay, there's a very important tissue called lenticels. Now, these lenticels are in the shape of lens. I haven't really wrote that there, but they are shaped as a lens, as the name suggests. Roots have hair-like structures on them which help absorb air and water through the soil. Why do plants die if overwatered? Soil spaces, meaning the spaces between the soil particles, get clogged up with water, and then air can't stay there, meaning can't stay there, okay? It can't. Let me just fix that. Can't stay there. So there's no space for air, and then the roots don't get enough air, and then they die. What are cellular respiration? Now, cellular respiration is the process of breakdown of food in cells and then release energy. This takes place in mitochondria. The oxygen reacts with carbohydrates or glucose and releases CO2, water, and energy. So let's write O2 plus glucose is equal to H2O, which is water, and CO2 plus energy. Okay, so this is what happens in respiration in organisms. With that, we have finished the chapter and hope you understood everything. Hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.